Hello, this is Will. I'm a real werewolf. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you would, or video or whatever. I've been asked to stop swearing by Louis, so as a favour, I'm going to stop swearing in this bit. Okay, so we're now on to number 7 of my philosophy against humans. I'm Will. I'm a real werewolf. I'm taking you through my philosophy of why I hate humans. Please like and subscribe this video. This is number 7, I think. So there are another 6 of these little philosophy things talking about how humans killed each other off, how humans killed off other homogeneous species, how humans killed off megafauna, how humans became agriculturists, and how they started now to tell stories that actually allow them to exist. So this is number 7. Each one of them has been why I really hate humans, and this is number 7, so this is why I really hate humans, and it's called Rules Schmules. It was not the realization of the poor and impoverished that ended empires and civilizations for you idiots. They did not rise and take back the power from their betters. It was just that in a short amount of time you had adapted to farming and been able to produce large cities and towns. That in fact you're unable to effectively evolve the necessary skills to work together in huge numbers. Groups of 150 again, 150, that number again functioned excellently. But as the numbers grew higher, then the ability for society to function became impossible without the application of bullshit. The fall of empires has often been down to their size and their lack of effective communication. The ability to communicate and the ability for the population to work together became impossible with too many people. That is why you struggle so. That is why you break off into factions and groups, and that is why eventually things fuck up for you and mass murder and genocide occur. Systems collapse and empires break down. You rely on myths, religions and political systems to bring large numbers of humans together, and the way that your society worked was not to bring about the cooperation of masses, but to oppress them and then exploit them. The ruling classes started to demand taxes. These would take the money from poor farmers and made up about 90% of the population and use that tax to fund the lives, luxury and protection of the elite standards of living. Myths and religions would protect the elite classes. Let us look at our one societal model from our past, a code based on what the gods ordered, similar to that laid down in the Christian Bible, but preceding that nonsense by a few centuries. There was a king of an empire. You could tell he was king because he was the descendant of the gods, or so he told his society. His name was Hammurabi. I reckon it's Hammurabi. And he ruled across Mesopotamia about 1800 years BC. In 1771 BC, his son of God, Snigger, he set down a code for the people to live in some 282 laws. These laws are really not a set of laws per se, but a list of enactments that should be followed if certain situations arose. They address specific occasions like happenings in marriage, slavery and inheritance. They also vary in harshness with differences in gender and social status, and they're fucking made up. All of it is made up. But if the people accept their status in life from the slave upwards to the superior man and then the divine royal family, then the whole system could bring about success in the way of feeding and supporting its flourishing population and in the empire's expansion into other areas. These were the first retaliatory laws that we know of, and had one frequently cited law that would go on to the Old Testament: an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Yes, all that good old nasty shit with proper outcomes to your general fuck-ups. The punishments were often barbaric to the minds of you modern humans, but they seem fair to me. If you're going to make shit up, then at least have the guts to be vicious fucks when applying those rules. I do admire that bit of the Mesopotamians' laws. They were also based on the first law-based system that had the presumption of innocence until proven otherwise, not like my own laws that are based on the fact that all you fuckers are guilty. Oh, and it even established a minimum wage, giving the specific jobs and how much they should be paid. How's that for modern thinking? My favourite part, and the one bit that should continue into the modern era, is that if you could not establish innocence or guilt, then the individual would be ordered to trial by ordeal. Jump in the fucking river. If you live, you're innocent. And you win all the other person's lands. If you die, he gets them and you're dead. I love that shit. Oh, and a lot of laws are punishable by death sentence, which is particularly awesome. Here we go with some of my favourite rules of Hammurabi. 129. If a man's wife be surprised in flagrante delicto with another man, that means fucking him, both shall be tied and thrown in the water. But the husband may pardon his wife and the king his slaves. 132. If a builder builds a house for someone and does not construct it properly, and the house which he built falls in and kills its owner, then the builder shall be put to death. 257. If anyone hires a field labourer, he shall pay him 8 gur of corn per year. 157. If anyone be guilty of incest with his mother after his father, both shall be burned. Some excellent rules and punishments there. This set of rules was provided by the gods so that strong could not oppress the weak. Such bullshit. It was handed down to Hammurabi so that he could stop the evil and the wicked getting ahead. Brilliant thinking on some liar's point. It only had a huge slant to those in powerful positions, but God wanted the people to be all protected. What a good God. He is thinking of all those lowly souls, but focused on the most important, the hierarchy, obviously. A strange law for our modern mindset is one where if a superior man kills the daughter of another superior man, then the murderer's daughter is forfeit and executed as punishment. Brilliant, huh? Because the man owned his daughter, she was seen as just goods of his, a material thing, and her innocence and the fact that she'd done nothing wrong in reality meant fuck all. She was just a thing that the man owned and could be taken away as punishment. The loss of his daughter would be thought to teach him a greater lesson than locking him up or killing him, the man who did the fucking murdering. Maybe this law would be more effective now. It's all makey-uppy story that means some get everything at the cost of those that give a lot. We still live in a very similar system in the here and now. Let's look at America. The American founding fathers got together to kick the English asses out of their country. Oh, wait a minute. The new Americans did, because they didn't own America. It was not their fucking country to kick the English out of. Not that the English owned it either. They'd stolen it from the Native Americans. Hey, but let's pretend that it was these white thieves' country. When they kicked the English out, they wrote the Declaration of Independence. This was a really funny one, though, because unlike the Hammurabi rules, it pretended that all humans were equal. Sorry, not all humans. I keep forgetting that back then women were only material goods. That all men were created equal, unless, of course, you were a Native American or a slave or a different race, or you didn't own land, or you were poor. No, wait, they definitely said everyone is equal at birth, everyone is equal, and that they get to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. Whatever the fuck happiness is. Of course, both these codes, if followed correctly, would allow millions of hairless apes who had not evolved to cooperate at such high population densities to do so successfully. They get to live peacefully in a just society. You fucking idiots. You actually fall for that shite, and you continue to fall for that shite. At least Hammurabi had it right, that all humans are not equal. You really aren't, and he did not try to hide the fact in stupid so-called ineffable rights handed down by gods. The thing that makes this more amusing to me is that the Americans would look at the system that Hammurabi used and say that theirs is better. They would make the argument that we are all equal under the eyes of God. Maybe we are equal under the eyes of God, my stupid reader. But Hammurabi did not hide the fact that people have different inherent values. What am I trying to say? Well, in reality, I am just trying to put across that all these human rights, this moralisation, equality, and other made-uppy bollocks are not real. You fucking made them up. Not you, but someone did. You also did it with a slant to those that deserve the best, the elites. What pisses me off is that brave warrior, that marine walking into Basra or Kabul to fight for his country, that man willing to lay his life on the line to fight for the rights of the people of his country. He thinks he's protecting those people by upholding the Constitution. And sadly, and I mean this is sadly, even for me, he is being lied to. He is not doing that. They are being conned into risking their lives for something else, cheaper oil maybe, or some other such utter bollocks. Always amazes me that the Americans and the pet England went into Iraq because they might have had weapons of mass destruction. If that was the case, why do we not attack places we know that do have them and have even madder bastards controlling them, like maybe North Korea, for instance? Oh wait, they do not have massive energy reserves we need. Or maybe I am just being a malicious dick. I am a werewolf. I hate the idea of equality or equanimity or whatever bollocks you call it, all that Christian nonsense about souls of people all being equal in the eyes of the Lord. Utter shite. You are not equal in any way to another being. You are either better as a totality or have different areas in which you both are better than each other. Honestly, this equality thing gets me down. We all know that we are better than others and that I am the best, don't we? Again, you're making shit up that makes you feel good about stuff. You can look at life in two ways, even though they are both wrong, because you're making them up. The hierarchy and the idea of equality are complete bollocks. Although there is a natural hierarchy of beings, it just does not follow the path that you made up. For a start, the thing is, you were not created at any point by any supreme being. It was all about evolution. Yeah, I know you nutcases out there are rallying to the religious banner, but being honest, you're just plain wrong. The thing about evolution is that it's based on differences between organisms, so the selection of those organisms can take place. Those differences that then are successful can then be passed on to the next generation as little changes that can be selected. Your DNA is full of small differences that set you apart from other humans, so at the base level, you're fucking different. These differences in your DNA give you many variations in your mental and physical capacity. You are not equal. You cannot say that people are equal either in society or even in a democracy. They are not. You pretend they are because you think that it will help the function of society. You can also say that people in a hierarchy are different in the forms that we put them on. A slave and a master may not be different in strict manners. Masters not always blessed with greater intelligence than slaves. Masters not always stronger than slaves. In reality, the differences in the whole population will be spread across the bell curves of reality. You have been categorized by the principles that have been created in people's heads, not in apparent biological differences. It's all weird that we work in systems that we've made up, and as long as the majority accepts it, just accepts it and work within the societal rule sets, you do not even have to believe in the system that you're using. But as long as the majority do and impose it on all, then it will function. You are educated throughout life to have those made-up ideas blend into the reality of facts. Gravity exists. Maybe we cannot explain it, but gravity exists. Everyone can understand that it is a fact. Capitalism exists because everyone and the stories tell you that it does. Capitalism, unlike gravity, does not really exist. It is makey-uppy, but you tell the youngsters that it is real, and that is how it exists. Santa Claus does not exist. A big sorry to those who believe otherwise and to those mad cunts who know he does. He does not exist. He's a story made up for children. Children believe that he exists and that his lovely red-wearing man has lists of naughty and nice and treats them respectively. Can you imagine the horror and stress that may set up in a child? In the future, the poor little bastard has their dreams crushed either by the guilt-ridden or uncaring parent or their peers at school. Santa Claus is not real. The child learns that mom and dad, if they have them, lied to them, and they thought that was okay. We lie to children as part of their everyday education. That's what your elders do to you. Mum and dad are equivalated by the rich and the government. They tell you lies that you believe to make the world work.